My name is Justin Howaggy. I've been a merchant seaman for 5 years and I'm a member of the MUA.
My name's Georgia Fitzgibbon. I'm an unemployed Australian seafarer and I'm a member of the MUA.
My name is Ryan McGibbon Thompson. I'm a merchant seafarer. I've been going to sea for 6 years and I'm a member of the Maritime Union of Australia.
My name's Rory Hart. I've worked on the harbour for 10 years and I'm a member of the MUA.
I think there was something exotic about going from different ports and the absolute freedom where you just get out of your bunk, you walk down the stairs, you have some breakfast, no traffic lights, and you're out at work ready to go. It was just the absolute freedom.
Working on the water, it's a pretty magic place. Sort of. My dad was a seafarer, his father before him, and his before him, and just the stories they've told me.
I always knew I wanted to do something in the industry, but I never thought of going to sea. My dad was a wharfie, and so I always wanted to be a wharfie, but unfortunately circumstances changed and I knew I had to do something. So the union actually approached me and said, would I ever consider going to sea? And I was like, of course. I looked into it and I was really, really happy with what I saw, and it seemed like a really good idea at the time. I wasn't enjoying my last job and it just seemed like a really good opportunity, so I snapped it up.
The best part of working at sea would be, I like the camaraderie, the different people you meet. We have good wages and conditions. The month on month off roster system really suits me. And yeah, it's just a different job. It's more of a lifestyle. It's an awesome career and I really enjoy it.
You come home and then you go to sea and that's your second home, and it's been with your family, I guess, even though you might not all get along, but it's just that camaraderie of being with your family and hanging with the boys and having a good time and getting the job done, and there's a bit of a rewarding feeling of that at the end of each day.
You go to work on the water, and it's an interesting career. No day is ever really the same. It's a pretty special place.
The most beautiful thing that I've ever seen is definitely the wildlife. It's the sea life. Like every time between the rig and boom, every time I look overboard, I always see a sea snake for some reason. I think that's pretty cool. But I think the most beautiful thing I've ever seen was working down the oil and gas fields of down there in Bass Strait, and each platform on the legs there's like a colony of seals, and you get to know each seal. You know who the alpha male is, and you know who the family is around that, and that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty special seeing that.
The most beautiful thing I saw at sea was definitely when I was sailing between Sydney and Melbourne, and we had a pod of dolphins swim along with us for ages. It seemed like forever. Had to be over 1,000 dolphins swimming along with us and rolling around, jumping around. It was just the most beautiful sight I've ever seen. I've never seen dolphins like that in the wild.
The sea life out there, it's just, yeah, there's a lot of beautiful points to working at sea. But yeah, nature, being in the ocean, it's beautiful.
Just the environment, like what Mother Nature provides, you know, all the sea creatures, the whales, the bird life, the dolphins, it's just magic.
Go to your bunk at night time, you put your head to the pillow and you just hear that murmur of the shaft turning and a few little creaks from your bookshelf and all that, and you just know you're at sea, and you drift off to the best sleep you ever had.
The big multinational corporations and whatnot that control the projects are hell-bent on using exploited workers really at the sake of our jobs. And at the moment that's a massive issue.
You have policymakers and lobbyist groups that don't want to have Australian seafarers crewing ships anymore when they can use cheap subservient foreign labour. And that's the biggest challenge is keeping your job and keep being a decent contributor to society when you're trying to be outpriced in your job.
We're not too expensive. We work hard. We get the job done. We follow every safety precaution, every safety standard, without a doubt. We are the most highly qualified seafarers in the world, and we need to be on every single ship that comes in and out of onto the Australian coast.
I'd say contact the union, contact the different maritime organisations and definitely consider going to sea. It's an awesome career. It's a bit mysterious and it's a bit of a challenge at the start, but once you settle in, you meet some of the best people you'll ever meet. You do awesome different work, and yeah, it's the best career I've had so far in my life.
If you're interested, definitely talk to some older seafarers, hear their story, hear the story about the industry, the union and what it's done for the coast.
You get to see things that no one else would ever see, but most of all you learn about just really good comradeship, but it's also looking after each other, and not just your workers, but looking after the poor and the people, the voiceless in society, and that's what a lot of the trade and union movement does. But becoming a seafarer is the most rewarding job there is.
My hopes for my future career at sea is to hopefully have a career at sea in the future, to hopefully stay on the water, to be an old salt on the water, to work alongside my comrades or my friends on the water.
In my career, if I could do something to lift up our foreign brothers and sisters at sea, it'd be perfect. I'm really passionate about that, and yeah, everyone deserves a good wages and conditions and safety at sea.
Well, my hopes are that I can retire by the time I'm 60 as a seafarer, and whether that's as an IR or, you know, maybe one day I could progress up the ranks, but no matter what, I just hope to retire as a seafarer, and what I hope to see is that red Australian Merchant Navy flag flying on the back of more ships than what we have now, and have more Australian crews on board. And I think if I can retire and there's still a massive lineup of young fellas wanting to become a seafarer, well, I'd pretty much retire a happy bloke, I think.
At the moment, a major concern is the fact that a lot of these flag convenience ships that are coming into our coast will cause major environmental damage. It's a major concern, and it's kind of not a matter of if, but when.
I'm a highly trained seafarer. I've come straight out of college and to no job. I shouldn't have to compete with forced foreign labour that work for less than $2 an hour.
Please don't write policy that doesn't allow companies to use us as labour, because we've been here over 132 years of seafaring in Australia. We've protected your borders. We've done everything in the wartime to help out. And if you're going to have all these foreign vessels coming, well, if times get tough, they're not going to help us because they won't care. So please don't outprice us and keep us in a job, because we contribute to society quite well. We pay our taxes, we work hard. So please have a heart and keep us on board.